Hey guys, Steven here from My PLC Training, and I've got another video today to help you become a confident PLC programmer. And this is all about going online with a PLC. So the first time you go online with a real PLC, you're going to see the logic moving, things changing colors, rungs energizing, tag values updating live. And it's really a different feeling than anything you get in a simulator. Now the simulator really, it looks like the real thing, but it's a different feeling because you know that this PLC is running real equipment, and changing things on a real PLC with real equipment can have a big impact. So most people actually have no idea what they're looking at when they get online for the first time. And more importantly, they don't know what they should do and what they shouldn't do and what they need to be careful about. So today I'm going to help you figure that out. Before we get into what you can see and do while you're online, we need to clear up one thing that trips up almost every beginner. Going online does not necessarily mean you're downloading a program to the PLC. Those are two different things, and we will talk about that. When you go online, just going online means you're connecting to the controller and syncing to whatever program is already running inside of it. So think of it like tuning into a live broadcast. You're watching what's happening, but you're not changing anything of what's happening. You're just tuning in. There is two different directions that your data can flow between the computer and the PLC. You can have data coming from the PLC to the computer, or data going from the computer to the PLC. So when it comes to sending your new program that you programmed to the PLC, for Allen-Bradley, that's called downloading, okay, from computer to PLC. Now, just a side note, other platforms sometimes call it the opposite, so be aware of that. But for Allen-Bradley, download means going from the computer to the PLC. Upload means you're pulling the program from the PLC to the computer. So when you connect to a live system for the first time, you may not need to upload even. You can just go online, which means you're syncing the project file that you already have on your computer to the file that's in the controller. So if they're the same program, going online, you don't have to upload or download. If they're not the same, that's when you have to make a choice. And if you're not sure, start with uploading what's in the controller rather than sending a new program to it. So once you're online, Studio 5000 becomes a window into the machine. So the most obvious thing you'll notice is green rungs that are energized. So let's just actually go online here. And we're not going to go into depth into how to go online and different communications and all that. But in this case, I'm using a USB cable connected to a L24ER Compactlogix controller that I have over here on a bench. And so I'm going to try to go online and see if it will let us. You see we've got go online, upload, and download. Let's try to just go online. That's your best option initially if you have the most up-to-date project. Okay, sure enough, it went online, no problem. So if we expand this main program and we look at the project, we can see we've got some live stuff going on here. So some green rungs. And if we were to push those buttons on that test kit, we'd see these going green. We can also just toggle these on or force these on, which we'll talk about in a minute, to see what would occur. But you want to be careful with that as well. So these tag values are live. Now, if we go to controller tags, we can see there's really no tags except for the I/O tags. So we could create another tag called push button 1 and make it a bool and not tie it to any I/O. But when we go to monitor tags, we can then see a real value, what the real status of that tag is. And we could put another one called light 1 and say this is also a bool. And if we added some logic, I'm just going to go through this quickly. If you want to know how to use these instructions and how to address them, check out some of our other videos. But let's say we've got PB1 there and output, what did we call that? It was a light, wasn't it? Light 1 here. Then we will finalize those edits, and you can see we can toggle this on and off with toggle bit. And these values are actually going to change from 1 to 0. Okay, so we toggle this on. PB1 went to 1, and light also went to 1 because PB1 enabled light 1 to turn on. You can also see your I/O status, which we have here with these tags. So local one, local I1 dot data dot one, etc., is one of our input addresses, and these are output addresses that we're using in this logic. And you can see more address statuses here in the controller tags. This watch window only shows you what's active in the particular program you're looking at or routine you're looking at. But the controller tags will show you all the inputs and outputs statuses. So we can see there is one input that is currently on. And if we look at our outputs, all the outputs are currently off. So as you can see, going online helps you have visibility into the PLC and possibly the machine you're troubleshooting to know what inputs and outputs are on, which can be a great troubleshooting tool when you're troubleshooting a machine in a plant environment. So that's why going online can be one of the most powerful things you can do as a technician, because sometimes it can collapse hours of guesswork into minutes. So what's safe and what to be careful about? Here's where people get into trouble. Being online on a running machine means everything you do is live. There's no preview mode. There's no undo. So let's talk about what's completely safe. Monitoring these tags like we've been doing here, totally fine. Seeing the status value of the tags, even going to the ladder logic routine and seeing the status of these tags, no problem. You're just looking, you're not touching, right? So zero risk there. What to be careful about? Forcing outputs. Okay, you definitely want to be really careful with forcing outputs. You got to really know what you're doing, but you can force an input on, which basically bypasses the electrical signal coming into the input module or the lack thereof. And you get to determine if you want this input to be on or off. So force on, for example, you can see it's got that force symbol, and then we would go to I/O forcing and enable all I/O forces. Click yes, and now you can see it went green. Even though the physical input is not on, we're able to force that in the controller. So again, this is not something you want to do unless you really know what you're doing. You understand the program well, the machine well, and you're trying to test something or make up for something that's broken. So that's something you can do. You can also force it off. For example, well, first of all, I'm going to remove the force on that one. But there is an input that we saw that is already on. And let's see if we can find that again. That is input 3. So data.3. So if we go to our routine and we find data.3, and we'll just use the corresponding output for output data.3, just for fun. You can see that input's already on. So we could actually do a force the other way and force it off, and it forced it right off. Now we still have I/O forcing enabled. Generally, you want this disabled so that it's not easy to accidentally force something on or off. So what else requires caution? So I've made some changes here already without explaining it, but making changes online is something you need to be careful about. So you can make online changes with Compactlogix and ControlLogix controllers. You just double click on the rung and it creates two rungs. One is the running logic that's in the controller right now, and one is the editing one that you're going to build. So let's say I wanted to make this an XIO instead. I could change the instruction, maybe add some other logic if I wanted. And then when I click this button, finalize all edits in program, this is going to be the new live logic. So it's not live yet until we click that. So again, you really need to know what you're doing before you make online changes with a real program or real machine. You need to understand the machine well and the logic well before you push that change. But let's say we're sure we want to make this change. Click finalize all edits and click yes. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about upload and download a little more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go offline and I'm going to make a change to this program while I'm offline. I'm going to create a new tag called PB2 and another tag called Light2. And then when I go to the controller and I choose go online, it's going to give us an option because now the program in the controller does not match the program I have here on my computer. So now we have the option to upload what's in the controller or download what's on my computer to the PLC. So again, the safer option is to upload from the PLC unless you really know what you're doing and you're ready to download a new project. Okay, so in this case, we are going to choose to download because I know what I'm doing and we're not running a real machine, so we can test this out. So I'm going to download the program to the controller. And so it's going to go through the process of downloading everything in the program to the controller. And then when it's done, it's going to say, do you want to switch back to run mode? Assuming you were in run mode when you started the download. So I'm going to click yes. And now we are in sync again. So if I was to go offline and then try to go back online, I would not need to download or upload. I wouldn't need to make that choice because the program would match in the controller and the computer. So with upload, it's just the opposite again. We could pull that project from the controller to the computer instead of sending the project from the computer to the controller. Okay, so let's bring it together. Going online means syncing to the controller, not downloading to it. Once you're connected, you can see live tag values, trace energized rungs, and read I/O status in real time. So that's your window into the machine. Monitoring is safe. Forcing, editing, all require you to really know what you're doing. So be careful with forcing and editing and changing other tag values as well, even if you're not forcing them. Because regular tag values that are not inputs and outputs, you can change those tag values without forcing and it could still cause an issue, so be careful. So the moment you first see a running program, logic moving, values updating, that's the moment when it starts to feel real. And now you know what you're looking at. So if you want a full system for gaining confidence with PLC programming and troubleshooting, from software to having real confidence on the floor, and you want help getting a job in controls and automation or just moving up with your current role, there's a link in the description below to learn more about our accelerated program. Until next time, click subscribe if you want more videos like this. Thanks for watching.